Less about talent and more about how emotionally durable you are. In the studio session, it's just like going to the gym. You got to put your reps in. You just got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. And even while you're making the music, a lot of that stuff you're not going to put out. Just period. You're not. It's especially in the beginning of your career. It's trash. I mean, it's not trash, but you know what I mean. It's not what it is today. It's all a learning experience. You know, you just have to keep going. You can't quit.
Welcome to PSYCH DROP, the psychology of success in electronic dance music. I'm Dr. Sunni psychologist, executive coach, and host of this podcast, where we're going to go beyond the music and explore the minds, habits, and inner stories of the people shaping electronic dance music culture. Today's guest, I'm really excited about. This is our first episode, so first guest is a rising star in electronic dance music. Billboard charting producer and DJ with over 20 million streams, international radio play, and a weekly syndicated radio show. He's collaborated with some of dance music's biggest names. Please welcome my friend, GTO Feist.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
So excited that you're here. For the first episode, wouldn't have anybody else. Even though it's our first episode, definitely not the first time I've interviewed you.
No, definitely not. And I'm glad.
Right. So,
yes.
So GT was part of my first book. I interviewed him there. And here we're going to dive into some more different things behind the scenes to his success and how he got to where he's at. So excited about this.
Yeah, same. I'm super excited, and thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. And, I think what I want to do is like go back. We've known each other for years. And, back in those days, you were just a fan in the crowd, right? And I remember being there with you. We've been going to festivals together for years.
Yep.
And I want to I want you to tell us more about going from being a fan to someone creating the experience. Like, what has that been like for you?
I mean, it's definitely different. But first fan and then joining into the music scene, it's not something that I actually ever thought I would be doing. When I first was a fan and just kind of getting to know the dance music scene, I knew that I loved it. I knew that I wanted to be a part of the scene, but I didn't really know that I wanted to make the music per se. But I think the first time that I really knew that I wanted to make the music was when I started DJing. When I DJ'd the first time in Miami, it was just like, seeing everybody's faces and it kind of blew my mind. One person is controlling everybody out there. And I thought that it was just amazing. So I think that was the first time that I was able to move a room was kind of, that was it.
Wow. And you were already a fan. So it was just sort of a natural thing to get in.
That's what it was. I was already a fan. I just didn't really know. It was a hobby. Like, it was just a fan. Like all this was just, I love music. And that's, you know what I mean? Music brings everybody together. And that's really what it's all about. And I just feel like, becoming a fan first and then making the music was a blessing. Because there's a lot of people that just start making music, but they never really enjoy the festivals. They just kind of just sit in a studio and they're just kind of like, self-minded, and they're just that. And I don't, that was everything to me, was like actually moving a crowd and, DJing the first time.
Very cool. So it's interesting, and I feel like that brings a different perspective for you, right? Like, going from the fan side, you understand the fan experience. It's kind of like me. Before, I never knew I'd really be working in this industry either, right? But understanding it from a fan side really gives you a different perspective when you're on the inside of it, or the other side.
It totally does. And you know what? Fan first and artist second, because I'm still that way. I'm still fan first. I love music. I love other people's music. I don't just, make music. I really enjoy listening to other people, because everybody's craft is a little different. And that's what I love about it. And, always Sunni, he's making some crazy music now. And I appreciate that music. It's not something that I make, but I went to one of his shows. I loved it. I had the best time ever. So, little things like that. The dance community is amazing, fan or artist.
Well, and I've seen you play with Always Sunni. And I think, while you guys have very different styles, there's really something to be appreciated from both. And, I love the friendship that you guys have. And I think, like you said, it's like that community piece. You're always out there supporting other artists and helping others in the
Yep.
industry. And I think like that's sort of why, why we're here and why we're even doing this podcast.
Look, you have to help other people. You have to be supportive, or else nobody's going to support you. I mean, it's just the way you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's just, I think that's in anything you do. That's not just music.
I agree. The people that are successful learn how to treat other people, right? I think that's
You got it. I mean, that's exactly what it is. 100%. Totally.
definitely. So I
Totally.
know you said like that moment that you were DJing and
Mhm.
like saw the crowd's reaction, that really made you know like you wanted to do this. So like what came next? Like what did you do next? Like how do you go from there?
I mean, I was just learning at that point, so it was,
Mhm.
I was just DJing. I was never making the music. So like when I was just DJing, I was DJing other stuff. And I feel like I just continued to do it, not professionally. It was more of a hobby. This was all hobby. This was all
Mhm.
just, it was really like, somebody was there helping me, showing me how to do it the first time I was there. So it was really just, it was a hobby. And then I didn't even DJ again for like 3 more years. So it was kind of
Wow.
like, I didn't do it in a live crowd for like 3 more years. So I
Mhm.
was doing it DJing, but it was more like for fun, not really DJing, like just kind of learning still.
Okay.
But
And
yeah,
so like tell me like where the music production came into play.
that came from friends. I mean, that's
Okay.
really, it was friends brought me into that world. I always was, intrigued by it, that somebody could create something with just out of nothing and on a computer without an instrument. So I
Mhm.
thought that was pretty dope. So that's really how the production came about. And in the studio session, it's just like going to the gym. You got to put your reps in. You just got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing. And even while you're making the music, a lot of that stuff you're not going to put out. Just period. You're not.
Mhm.
It's especially in the beginning of your career. It's trash. I mean, it's not trash, but you know what I mean. It's not what it is today. It's all a learning experience. And you just have to keep going. You can't quit. And that's the thing, is you're learning every day, but you should be enjoying this every day too as you learn.
So the things I'm hearing you say is like some of the mindsets that helped you keep going are like this, like you're learning every day. It's not going to be great in the beginning.
No, it's never great in the beginning. And anything you do, remember, when you start something in the beginning, you're never going to be good at it.
Right.
Ever. You can be okay at it, but you're never going to be professional. It takes time, it takes reps. You got to keep going. You can't stop. You can't, that's the thing, is a lot of times that I have the best song ever. I have the best song ever. I thought I had the best song ever. Everybody else thought it was the worst song ever. You know what I mean? So you just have to keep a positive mindset, because there's going to be a lot of haters along the way. There's going to be a lot of people critiquing your music, and
Mhm.
it's hard in the beginning. I mean, it's just really, really hard in the beginning. And, I just felt like I didn't want to quit. You'll think this is weird, but I didn't want to quit until I was on the radio. I heard my first song on the radio. That was like a dream of mine and a passion of mine. So I would say that was a big part of the production as well,
Mhm.
because I mean, and seeing my name on the charts is just insane. Honestly, it's just amazing. It really is. And I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful for the dance community because of that.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things is people see you on the charts, right?
Yeah,
And
they
they
do.
don't really know what it took to get here.
They
Right.
have
And
no
I
idea.
think that's why I'm happy that we're really diving into this, because it's such a long road and people just see the success or like that highlight reel that
You
you
got
see
it.
on social media. And
Yep.
it's like you've gone through like years of hard work, of rejection, of building your skills to get where
Yep.
you are now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think doing that was in the beginning of my career. I was trying to make a certain sound. I was trying to sound like other people. I'd be like, oh, I want to sound like him, or I want to sound like him, or him, or him. After a while, the real truth is I didn't even start to get success until I started following my sound and my dream and my project and my craft. You're just living for somebody else, like what's the point of that? What's the
Mhm.
point? If you're going to sound like somebody else, it's okay to sound similar. But if you're just following somebody else's sound, they're going to get famous. You're kind of just, tagging along, if that makes sense.
Well, I think that's a really interesting topic, right? And one that comes up a lot, like helping producers find their own sound,
Right.
And, you know, I think I talk with people about that a lot. It's not easy to find your own sound. And I think sometimes it takes, like, as a starting point, maybe trying to go with a sound that you like.
Yep.
But it really takes so much time.
It does. And I think trying different sounds is definitely great, especially if you're a new artist. Find the sound you like because, like, people like more than one sound. It's okay to make a few different genres. Just don't go
Right.
overboard and start making like 10 different genres and start doing pop music and like just really stick to like at least one genre, like electronic dance music. Anything that falls under that is fine. But
Mm.
there's a lot of producers out there, especially, ghost producers and stuff that are all over the place. They're doing pop music, they're doing country music, or whatever. I just feel
Right,
like they
right.
just need to stick to a certain genre, really. Tech house is fine, progressive house is fine. Like doing any, under the umbrella of electronic dance music, because there's just a lot of people that are trying to get into different formats when you won't even know who they are because they never get discovered. Just so you know that.
Yeah, I do think that's good for producers to know earlier on, right? Because I think once you're a producer at a certain level, you can kind of you have more freedom to really do whatever you want
Of course, and
here or there.
you're gonna get offered different collabs from artists that
Right.
aren't usually your cup of tea, especially as a big, superstar like David Guetta or Afrojack, any of those people. They're doing different genres, but that's okay because it's like the artist is coming with them. So it's like a hip hop song or rapper or whatever. And they make a dance music out. They're not making a rap song out of it. They're still making a dance song.
Right. Right.
Think about that. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. And so, like, it sounds like you went from fan to DJ to producer, then to Billboard charting artist, right?
Yeah,
Where you're
and
at
then
now.
back to DJ. Because like I stopped DJing for a while. You remember that? It was like
Hmm.
I would DJ what, 3 times a year? You would come to all my shows pretty much. You would know like 3 or 4, and then look what happened this past year. So being on
Yeah.
tour
Yeah.
all
I
the time.
remember back to that, like, very early show that you did
Yeah.
with Always Sunny,
What, the one in Richmond?
the one in Richmond. Yep.
Yeah. I'll never forget you guys came. It was so much fun. Yeah. It was
That
great.
was really fun.
It
And
really
I mean, to
was.
think all that's happened since then, like, so, like, tell us more about, charting on the billboards, what that's like, when it happened. I mean, we just, like, wanna know more about that.
Well, first of all, it was a shock. The first time it happened was with my song Never Together. I knew I was charting on Media Base, which is pretty much the radio. It's pretty much the company that powers Billboard, but there are
Mhm.
different stations throughout the country that are just Media Base and that are just Billboard. So when I first got on the Billboard chart, I didn't know what I was like. I just couldn't believe it. But then it was weird because I just kept wanting more and more. I was so excited about what I had. And then I was like, the next like week, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Where's all my excitement?
Mm.
Like when you get a new shirt or you get something new, it's just amazing. Like getting a new car, it's great for a month. You don't want anybody near it. You don't want anybody, washing it all the time. They don't care. It's kind of the
Right,
same
right.
thing. And you want a new car. It's the exact same thing with the music. It
Mm.
really is. It's like I was 30 on the billboards, and then I was like, oh, okay, great. I'm gonna drop the next song. Then I was 26, and then I was 38, and I was like, oh my God. So now I'm going
Mm.
up. So you know what I mean? It kind of like sucked. You were going from, high, low, and then you're way up. Um,
Mhm.
but I feel like that's all part of the journey and it's all part of the learning experience and it's all part of, it's just, it's the way it is. And it's part of music. It's truly part of music. I mean, think about Taylor Swift. How many songs does she drop? Only 1 out of 4 get a top 10.
Mhm.
So remember, not every song she's dropping is a super smash. Most of them are. She drops more hits than most people.
Right.
But think about it. Everybody has their fair share of not hits. It's a numbers game. It's straight up a numbers game. The more you put out, the more chances you're going to have a smash. But the more you
Mhm.
put out, the more saturated your music is, so the less people may hear it.
So, I mean, I think it's really tough to figure out what is the right balance. But, the one thing I heard you say, like, a couple of things that stood out to me in what you just said. And,
Mhm.
like, one is, like, when you were first charting, it's like you were way up here, like, so
Yep,
excited. Like you said, it's like that shiny new fancy thing you got. It's
you got
so
it.
exciting. And then, like, a couple of weeks in, it doesn't have that same level.
at all.
Right. So that
Like,
there's like that up and down, even though you're still charting, right?
yeah,
Nothing is bad, but it's just not that same high. And
right.
then, like you said, every song is not going to chart at the same level. And it sounds like if you're comparing yourself to what you did before, that's a ton of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. And, not only that, it's a lot of pressure with the other artists that you're working with because,
Mhm.
they're working with GTO Feist. They kind of expect a Billboard. As weird as it sounds, like they're like, that's why a lot of these vocalists send me their stuff. That's why, you know what I mean? They want that next push to their career.
Right.
But yes, 100%.
They're also kind of in a way expecting that, and that puts pressure on you too.
Oh, totally. And not only me, the label too. Like, when I'm the artist and I'm the label and I'm the manager and I'm this and I'm that and it's hard. It's really hard. And especially when you're talking with the vocalists' managers, because it's kind of weird speaking like, well, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. It's better when you have another person that can help you with that. Although I do have a very small team for Caine Records,
Mhm.
a very trusted team. That's all I got to say. They're very trusted. They're good people. One of them is one of my artists. It's Matt. Matt's a great guy to have. Matt. You love Matt. Everybody loves Matt. If you
Shout
don't
out
love
Matt
Matt, there's
Topper.
something wrong with you. Yes, we're talking about Matt Topper. Honestly, he is, I adore the dude. Such a good guy. Such a good guy. A lot of energy and a great asset to Caine Records. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to dive a little bit more into the team piece. But
sure.
before we get into that, like just going back to when you do have a track that doesn't perform the way you expected it to, like,
Uh,
how do you, like, what do you tell yourself? Like, how do you get through it?
I don't even know how I would say that. I would just say
Mhm.
that probably it's data. You're getting data. So if you're saying like if the track doesn't do well, you're getting data. You're seeing why the track didn't do well. Where is it doing well and certain areas. Sometimes it does well on the radio, sometimes it doesn't do well on Spotify. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes my
Mhm.
songs can be doing very well on Spotify, but not on the radio. And I feel
Right.
like finding out all the data is really beneficial because you can see why and where and the sound that you made that didn't, you know what I mean? I feel like that's a big thing. A big thing. Data is everything's data driven these days. Anything.
It's so true. It's so true. I absolutely love that answer because I think that when you look at things as data, already just saying it that way, it's taking the emotional weight
Right.
out of it, right?
Right.
You're looking at data. If something doesn't perform as well, I mean, I think this goes for tracks, and I talk also with artists all the time about this with social media. If something doesn't perform well, that's data. Like it's telling you what maybe you need to
You're
do something
learning.
different.
You're learning
Exactly.
from that. Listen, it's not negative. That's
Right, right,
constructive criticism, essentially.
right,
That's what it
exactly.
is. It's going to show you where you lacked. I don't want to say fail because you're not
Mhm,
failing if you're doing it. I want you to know anybody doing
absolutely.
this is not failing. I don't care. You're learning. I'm learning every day.
Same.
I'm learning. I've done this for a long time and I'm learning day, every day. So
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think, the data, when something, whether it's a track, or let's say a post, when the data's not doing what you want, right? If it's not doing well, I think there's as much to learn as you can learn from the stuff that does do well, right? Because that's data too.
absolutely. Listen, you have to, there's going to be wins and there's going to be losses, but you got to learn
Exactly.
from both of them. Both.
Exactly.
Both. You got to learn from your wins. Why did I win? What made me get to that? Why am
Yep.
I here now and not back there? It's just, it's a learn. You got to learn. Got to learn.
Right. And we're still learning. We're never gonna stop.
Learning every day. I'm telling you, everybody's like, oh, can you teach me? I'm still learning. Like I'm learning. I'm learning just like you guys. So we're always learning. Everybody's learning.
Yeah, and I really think that, like, having that learning mindset is one of the things that keeps you from giving up, right? Like
If you're not learning, what are you doing?
right.
I mean, if you're not learning, because if your song's 40 on the chart, why isn't it number one? You should be learning why that. Well, what sound can I make different? What vocals can I get different? Are the vocals messed up? Is it me as an instrumentalist? Is it what is it? Is it the melody? What made this song fail or win, essentially?
And it sounds like in the beginning when you're producing, that's what you're really doing a lot of, right? You're really testing, you're getting data.
You're getting data. And like you know this, I put songs out and I took them off of Spotify before because they weren't good enough. And as I was growing, I didn't think they were good enough. And remember, there's some songs on there that I'm not proud of that I put out a bunch of years ago. But I kept them up there because that was also part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did take I took 2 of them down. That was it. The rest of them I kept up there. That's all part of the journey. I just hate when my super fans now get to that song because it's not the quality that I make now. So,
But you know what? I also really love that you still have that up there, right? Because I
of
think
course.
like super fans care about that, right?
Thank
They
you.
want to see the progression. They want to know that you're not perfect every single time.
Nobody's perfect every single time. That's what everybody they have to know that. Like, trust me, David Guetta puts out songs that do okay. He puts out songs that are smashes.
Right.
Think about any artist. Any artist, it's the same. Do you know any artist that puts in a smash out every single time? Not really.
No.
There might be one, and it's probably Calvin Harris in my career. I mean, that he has the most number ones in the dance, in the dance
Right.
world. So, but other than that, he still has a lot of failure. He still not failure, but he has a lot of losses, a lot of win. It's
Mhm.
just it's a learning experience every day. It's a dog eat dog world in this entertainment industry, any entertainment industry. I don't care if you're an actor, model, whatever you do. It's dog eat dog world out there, but we're learning every day.
But yeah, this whole idea, I think, of keeping learning and looking at wins, looking at losses as learning, I think it's really key, obviously in any industry, but especially if you want to go on this journey. In order to make it and to be able to stay there, you have to look at things in this way
Of
and
course.
not, get discouraged and quit.
Look, the people that never make it are the ones that quit. That's the only way that you won't make it is when you quit.
Yeah.
That you can't make it. Excuse me. Once you quit, you can't make it.
Right. Right.
The only thing holding you back from not making is quitting.
Yes, I agree. And I'm glad that, you sort of share a lot of the same viewpoints that I have. And, this conversation sounds similar to conversations I have with so many DJs and artists and producers, like on a daily basis, pretty much, right? Like, because you really have to learn to think about things in a certain way to keep doing this. And, I think there are also other things that you've done to make this happen. And like going back to this whole team idea, like you started a label, you built a team. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about like how that came about and how that sort of helped your success.
Yeah. For the label, are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I built the label because I was signing my songs to a bunch of labels like we had talked about before in your book and everything, and they just
Mhm.
weren't doing anything for my songs. And I just felt like, why am I going to give them my product that I work hard on and that I believe in, and I give it to them, and then they just kind of like, it goes in one hand and out the other. It's like, I felt like I was a number game, and I
Mhm.
couldn't really. I had no control. It's just that's the truth. I had no control, and I wish I did, because that's why I started the label. Though is I was sick of it, and I knew that I had a lot of connections because the labels connections I kind of had taken. Like all their
Right.
connections, people that had reached out to me through them or anything like that. I would, I kind of took that connection, and the reason that I started my own label was because I wasn't getting help, and I felt like if I kept signing my songs to different labels, I would never make it. It would be a longer process than I currently have right now. Because remember, I still haven't made it. So, you know what I'm saying? It puts on some extra time when you sign to a label, because remember, the labels usually have about 3 artists that they push. If you're not one
Right.
of the 3 main artists, you're just there.
Mhm.
But that's why I started the label. And I also started the label because first of all, you can't sell something that's not yours. So when you start a record label, you own all of the master, you own all of the publishing, you own everything. So when 20 years down the road, hopefully I'll be the next David Guetta, and you can sell your catalog. You can do a lot when you actually have control of it.
Right.
And that's the one thing, like I had talked to my financial advisor about it, and he was like, well, if you died, can you sell it? I'm like, no, I'm GTO Vice. I can't like sell that. What do you put a mask on that looks like me? He goes, well, that's not okay. And that's kind of like, gave me a mindset like maybe I should start that label, because then I own everything. And I do know the right people, and I do have the right connections, and I know everybody in this industry. Everybody.
You definitely do.
I literally know everybody in this in the dance world, and I love everybody in the dance. It's a small community. It's a small big community. And that's what it is.
Yes, it
Full
is.
of love. Full of love.
Yes. And I feel like there was a lot in what you just said, but like again, there's so many things like directions to go with this conversation. We could be here for days.
Of course.
But the one thing you said in starting the label was that like you wanted to be in control, right? Like you wanted to be able to push your music the way you wanted to do it. And I think that is so big, right? Because you were feeling like other labels were not doing what you would do. So you decided to do it yourself.
That's literally everything. Honestly, you can't trust people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that I just hate to say it, because you want to trust them, and they promise you the world when you give them the song, and then the song comes out, you get no articles, you get no streams, you get no radio support, you don't get a lot out of it. Starting Caine Records was a great thing as well for networking, because I'm not just an artist anymore. Now I'm meeting the biggest people in the world. I'm literally meeting the radio promotions people. I'm meeting the program directors. I'm meeting the people that do curating for, editorial support for YouTube or Apple Music or Spotify or whatever it may be. As an artist, you're not meeting these people.
Right.
And the connections that you're making are usually with a vocalist. There's not a lot of value there.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that there's value, but there's not a lot of value like meeting somebody that's going to change your life. The vocalist won't. These program directors can. Anybody in the industry that's up here, that's who you need to meet. The artists are great. The vocalists are great. It's good to meet them, network them, be friendly, work with them, make money together. But the people you want to know are the executives. They're the people up here. They're the people that are going to help you get to that next level. They're going to help you get signed to Warner. They're going to get you signed to Armada. They're going to if you want that life, you need to know the execs.
Right. And the label was really leveraged to help you get to those people.
Of course, because remember, I'm not going to be doing, an artist doesn't do a radio promotion, but the label owner can.
Right.
And they already knew me as the artist. So when I told them that I'm the label, it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I saw Martin Garrix doing it. I saw all these other major superstars doing it. And I'm like, I kind of want to do that too. If they're doing it, they're doing it for a reason.
Right, right. So it seems like, you like that whole idea of wanting to have control. I do think that's like a really important piece, because you are the CEO of GTO Vice, right? You are the business owner. And then adding the record label, adding Caine Records was like additional leverage to really have more control over your music.
It's been really beneficial. And it's gotten me a lot of good connections. And actually, believe it or not, those vocalists that I say really don't really matter that much, they actually do, because they're sending me vocals like crazy now, because I have the label, I have the success for the label. But remember, in the beginning, nobody believed in Caine Records. I only believed in Caine Records. And guess who had to believe in it? Me. Nobody else had to. It didn't matter what other people thought. It would have been nice for them to believe in my dreams and my project and everything, but they didn't. And those people, they do now. And it's like, I don't really need you. Unfortunately, I remember that. You gotta treat everybody, you gotta treat them good, because it'll come back. It really will.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really sounds like believing in yourself was first and foremost. And there were, of course, people who didn't believe, but how did you get people to believe?
Success, suiting up, showing up every time. Rejection. They would tell me no. Well, I'll bring a name up. Brian Fink. Brian Fink used to decline all of my records. all of them. And my music got better, but so did my connections, and so did my friendships, and so did my everything. So think about it. Brian's my number one supporter now. He's a godsend. He's literally an amazing dude. He's helped me out so much with my music, with questions that I have. He's just with America's Dance 30. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's the 30 dance, the 30 top songs in the country. And, he's been great. So he's been awesome. But those connections only came with the labels, with, he knew me as an artist, but he really got to know me as a label owner when I'm sending him my songs. And he's declined a lot of my music before. Like he declined No Broke Girls. It's okay. He's not going to like everything, but he's been very supportive. And that's everything. If you're listening, that's key. You don't have to like everything. You don't have to approve everything. You don't have to accept everything. But if you listen and you gave me that time, that's more than enough. I can't ask for anything. That's it.
Well, it's interesting with Brian how he's sort of like come around.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, I'm guessing a couple of things went into that. Like one thing you said, you got better over time, but also too, like he saw you not giving up. He saw you keep believing in yourself.
He kept seeing my name, new songs, new music, blah, blah, blah. Till eventually he's like, shit, I'll give the guy a shot. You know what I mean? I think he was just like, oh, why not? And he's a good guy. So like if the music fits the format and it fits what he believes that he likes, he will play that record. He will.
Right.
But if he doesn't like the music, I promise you, he will not play the record. But I've also have to say one thing. Brian, when I send him a song, if he doesn't give me any feedback, he doesn't like the song. He will not tell you he does not like it. He just doesn't answer it.
The feedback is no feedback.
Let me tell you, I know him. That's the way he'll tell you that it's not for me without telling you that. Yep.
That's funny. Well, like I know you've touched on this a little bit, like you do know everyone in this industry. And again, going from a fan to being in the industry, like how did you get to this point where you know everyone and you have all of these great relationships?
Being friendly. Networking, going to certain events that I think are very beneficial, like the EDM awards. I think festivals are also very beneficial as long as you can get an artist wristband, because if not, you're kind of in the fan roam, which is great and fun and very beneficial too, because it's great to go out and meet fans and see people that, know who you are. But I feel like most of the networking and connections are going to go in the back. Course, in the artist booths and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like gaining connections at any event, even if you're meeting with some of the artist managers or label executives or radio promotion people or whatever your heart desires, you know what I mean? I just feel like networking and whatever you want. For me, I really wanted radio, so I would try to go to networking things. Like last year, we went to the EDM radio panel and saw all the people sitting there talking and doing all that. Like I went to go support those people. I didn't have to go there. I already know everything they said. I hate to say that. Like I've done this for years. You know what I mean? So I already know everything they're saying. They were asking like, why do you choose this music and this, certain things like this. And like, I know those things. Like I know all of them.
Right. You could have been on that panel.
I probably could have, but I'm glad I wasn't, because my dad was there and it was great. It's speaking of my dad, he's a big part of Caine Records and very supportive. And my family's been very supportive. My mom's, she knows how to pick the songs. Like when I get vocals, I'm like, hey, moms, which ones do you think are the best? And she'll pick them out. So
I love
my family's been very supportive towards Caine Records and my friends as well, especially after the fact, as we've seen some success. But
well, I think everybody sees the vision now, right?
Yeah,
you're here.
Yeah. I have a lot of opportunity for some new music, and I've only been dropping Caine Records, GTO PSYCH Records on Caine Records. That'll change soon. I'm going to start dropping some other stuff, but
oh, nice.
I want my label to continue to be a quality label instead of a quantity label. There's a lot of quantity labels out there that'll just take it. They're getting that stream money. It's like on to the next. But I really want to like push the artist that I believe in. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that they know that when they sign with Caine Records, they're going to be happy. And I'm
Mhm.
not going to give up on the record until it's dry. You know what I mean? Like until there's just nothing left and you just have to.
Right. Well, and I think, this is kind of another way. I mean, like you said, you're going to panels, you're out there supporting whether it's other artists or other industry people in whatever they're doing. And I think that also means so much.
Yep.
And like you said, now like with signing artists that you care about, like that's going to be a way to help in a different way, right? And be supportive in a different way.
Oh, it is absolutely. And I've had recently actually, even today, like artists have reached out to me and been like, "Hey, I got a bunch of music. Would you want to sign me to your label?" And it's like,
Mhm.
I don't really want to sign anybody to the label right now because I'm really trying to make it like up here. I just really want to keep Matt around for right now, as in my full time signed artist. I want to sign artists, but one song
Okay.
here, one song here. I don't want 100 songs to drop. I'm not a numbers label. I'm a quality
Right.
label, so I have to keep that brand. And remember, if somebody sends me 100 songs, you know how picky I am. I'll probably find one that I like. So it's just hard. It's really hard when you're doing this. You're listening to songs, you're signing stuff. It's a rough industry, you know. It's hard doing
Well,
this.
it's a lot of different hats to wear, right? And like,
It is,
how
but
do
that's
you
also
find
all the
time?
connections. That's also all the connections you bring. The more hats you have, the more connections you have.
Right. That is true.
It's it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
But how do I find all this time?
How do you
My
do it?
team. My team. I mean, the little team I have gives me
Mhm.
a little sanity, and when I have something that needs to get done and I'm just overwhelmed, I can call on someone else to help me out with that. Um,
Right.
my dad's, he's a big part of Kane Records. He's the CFO. He's very involved, even though he doesn't want to be. He's involved without wanting to be. So yeah, it's great. And you see him at all the festivals, and
Oh
the
yeah, like your dad is
he's
Danny
pushing
is a
80.
number one fan. He's a number one fan of you and just EDM in general.
He really is. He really is. And he's pushing 80 years old, and it's not slowing him down. He's just a little upset that Izu's gone. But
I
we'll
know,
be
and I know your dad's catching every Cascade set possible.
oh, he is. And we'll actually be at Ultra this year. So
Oh, nice. That'll be good.
yeah, are you gonna go?
I don't know yet. I'm still working on it. I'll be down there though.
All right, good, good. You should come.
Yeah, doing some stuff, a few things down there. So we'll
Good,
see. We'll see.
good, good stuff.
But so like your team, like tell me more about like how did you, I guess, because I think people ask this a lot, like when did you know it was time to start you needed a team and like how did you do it?
Well, I have to be honest. There were some people in my team that have came and gone.
Mhm.
Um, I don't like to say names, but there's some people that have came and gone. They just weren't a right fit for Kane Records. We're still
Right.
friends. We're still close. It's just my vision was different than their visions. Radio success has been a little different with other promoters. You go through people. It's just what happens. And then when you
Right.
find somebody you love, you stay with them. But so I would say building a strong little team is key for your time. Because remember, if you're going to trust somebody to do it, you got to really trust the person that's doing it. You got to trust them, know what they're going to say. And that's why I like Matt.
Right.
Like, I love Matt. I do. I don't. Like, he's got the gift of gab. The guy can literally talk your ear off. You know that. He'll run circles around you. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's one of those guys.
Right.
But without him, I might not be where I am today. Point
Wow.
blank. I said it. You know what I mean? He's a great asset to Kane Records.
Mhm.
He doesn't even know how much I truly love him. Like, he doesn't know that. He just
Now
knows
he
that we have,
does.
yeah, exactly. He just knows that we have a lot of success together. You don't want to drop something that's amazing. And dude, the guy's, I told you, he's the best dude ever. Like,
Yeah.
for somebody not to like Matt, that's like almost like somebody that doesn't like animals. I'm just like, oh, that's weird. Like,
Right. It's like you got
that's
a
just
good
me.
person on your team here.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But
And like what's so interesting about like being an artist is that like you're not just an artist. You have to be able to run the business side. And then when you get to a certain point, like where you're at, you also have to be able to figure out how to be a leader, how to build a team, how to lead a team, manage a team. And like nobody ever trained you to do this, and you still have to do all the artist stuff too.
You're totally right, and that's a good point to bring up, because I wanted to say that every time an artist puts a song up on TuneCore, DistroKid, any of those things where they are releasing them themselves, welcome, boys. You're now in the entertainment business. That's it. That's it. Yeah,
You're in.
once you do that, you got to figure out how you're going to get your streams. You're going to have to, figure out, are you going to market on Instagram ads? Are you going to, where are you going to, what are you going to do? Because guess what? You're now in the entertainment business.
Exactly. Exactly. And, I think that's like, even though, I'm trained as a psychologist, but I help people with like the business side and the psychology of the business side, which so many artists, and I think, honestly, in a lot of businesses, you don't learn this part of like how to manage the people on your team, how to manage your emotions when you're dealing with their emotions.
That's why we call you, because we don't know how to do that.
Exactly, because nobody ever taught you.
Draining. It's crazy, and mentally draining. It's just crazy.
Absolutely. And I really I'm helping artists all the time with figuring out how to not let it drain you to the point where you can't get other stuff done.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And nobody ever teaches this stuff.
It's not something that you can really teach. It's something that somebody has to really, you have to do it. You have to do it, or somebody has to help you do it.
Absolutely. Like you said, a lot of this too, like when you said you were first building your team, a lot of it is trial and error and learning from that, right?
How much money I lost during that? That's another thing. Spotify ads, Spotify promotions that were bogus, this and that are bogus. Everything, it's
right.
It's like in real estate. I used to sell real estate. Buyers are liars. It's the same thing in this industry. It's just anybody you're working with is probably going to, BS you to take your money. So be careful who you give your money to. Don't give money up front for things unless if you know the people. And, there's a lot of shady stuff going on out there. I mean, I get DMs all the time. Do this. You want to be famous? I'm like, no, thank you. I just write back, no, I'm fine. Thank you.
Well, I think the whole issue of trust, which you brought up a little while ago, I mean, we could literally do a whole episode on trust. Like trust is really hard, as it, it's hard in most industries, but really in the entertainment industry, trust is very hard to come by, and it's hard to figure out who to trust.
The only way to trust is to find out. No, it's true. And you know what? For me, I don't give people my trust in the beginning. They have to gain it, because I've been hurt a lot. So,
right.
I'm nice to everybody, but I don't trust them as much until I get to know them.
Well, and I think honestly that makes sense, right? You can't just trust somebody off the bat. You have to really, and I think this is where networking comes in too. It's like you have to build up relationships with people to, one, so they know if they could trust you.
Right.
Right. You have to be able to stick to your word and be consistent. And then two, so if you could trust them.
That's the biggest thing, is the trust has to go both ways. And, it's just like a relationship. It's not going to work if, it doesn't work. You know how it is. It's just, it just doesn't. You really have to trust each other, and you have to both believe in the same thing and want the same thing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, a lot of my, come and gone people in Caine Records were the people that we had different visions. We thought we had the same vision, and then we realized we just didn't. Maybe it's the music selection. Maybe it's whatever it might be. It's just, we moved out separate ways, and that's okay too, because that's all a learning experience. Remember that.
Right. That is a really good point too, right? Like you have a vision for Caine Records, you have a vision for GTO Vice, and I think making sure that your team is aligned with the vision is so important. And like you said, sometimes you are in the beginning and then you're not at a certain point, but it's really important to maintain that alignment and be checking in about it.
It is. And that was something I wish I would have done more. But you learn, that's the thing, is this is all a learning experience. And, I think I started Caine Records, I guess it was probably about 4 years ago. And about almost 4 years ago. And I have no regrets. People will come and go, but the ones that stay are the ones that are meant to stay. And guess what? The ones that go and they find other jobs, that's cool too. It's not, I want people to live out their dreams. If their dreams is not Caine Records, it's fine. My dream is Caine Records. That's my dream. That's my life. That's my passion. I live and I breathe this. So if you're not living and breathing it, you can move on and we can still be tight. We can be friends. It's just we have different beliefs and we need to move on. That's all.
Well, and I think by being able to do that, you are, still supporting others. You're still building trust, maintaining those relationships. I mean, I think it's still even a part of networking.
Of course. And, I feel like anybody that I meet, I want to continue to have them in my pocket in my friendship forever.
Right.
I don't want to because sometimes you work together and then things get a little weird, like after you kind of break up and I don't want that. I want positivity. That's what, and learn, everybody else learned from me, just like I learned from them. It's not
Right.
one-sided, it's both ways. So, as long as everybody's dream is the same thing and you're on the same boat, it's fine. But if not, sometimes it's good to get rid of something before it's too late.
Absolutely. You have to make business decisions. And, going back to that trust thing, like I always say, people do business with people they trust. That's when people want to work with you. And you've thinking about all of the people you've collaborated with,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that has to do with you getting these collaborations.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's all trust. That's all trust. And it's also seeing what I have to offer and what they have to offer and the brand that my brand and their brands. And I love collaborating.
Right.
I love it. I always have somebody else on most of my songs. I try to. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if an artist is wanting to do a collaboration, they've never done it before, what should they think about or do?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you are, well, actually, either way, it works out this way. I would suggest going on Instagram, finding the person that you truly love their sound, making sure they're not Katy Perry, because you're not getting a collab with her. Trust me, I've already tried. But you know what I mean. You really have to find somebody that you think your sound will fit well with. Hit them up in the DMs. Reach out to them. Send them an instrumental. If you already have it done, send it to them. They'd be happy to hear it. For me, I always work off the top line. So I always want to hear the vocal before I work on the instrumental because I just have a lot of open, empty crap on my computer where it's just a bunch of instrumentals that'll never be used. And I've wasted a lot of time. Keep messaging people. Go to Sound Better. There's a company called Sound Better. You can go to that. You can even get vocals from Splice. Just get something just to put out. If you're a new artist and, because some of these vocalists can be expensive.
Right.
Trust me, very expensive. So just find somebody that's in your niche and your realm and try to work together and split the royalties and just make it fair for each artist. Because sometimes if you're not working with a label, you just say, hey, you want to just work together? We can split it. They'll be happy to do that. A lot of my songs were like that.
Well, I think that's good advice. And I think that's also another way of networking, right? Through social media, you're meeting other artists that you care about and you support.
Yep.
So I think it's a great thing to do.
You're meeting the artists, you're meeting their managers, you're meeting their labels, you're meeting everything, it just,
right.
You're meeting everybody. And that's, like I said, meeting anybody is beneficial. Doesn't matter who it is.
Right. It's all about building.
That's what it is. And you've really built yourself too. I see you. Trust me.
Well, I'm learning from you.
I don't think so. I think I'm learning from you.
Well, okay. It's mutual then. It's mutual.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I'm just looking at the time and we are, running low on time.
Yeah.
But, I do have 2 questions, super important questions that I want to end with.
Sure,
and
go ahead.
The first one is, what is one unfiltered truth about this industry that you wish someone told you earlier?
An unfiltered truth, I would say, is less about talent and more about how emotionally durable you are. If you can't take constant rejection, I mean, it is just constant. Comparisons to different artists, pressure, you can't let any of that get to your head because that's everything. That'll shut you down. Those are the things that'll shut you down. Nothing else in this industry will shut you down. Maybe money. Because like I told you, vocalists are very expensive and marketing is very expensive. But those things are the things that will shut you down if you don't hold on to your own. You got to be consistent. You can't take, there's going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of rejection. And just those are the things that I would say that I wish that somebody would have told me in the beginning. Because luckily I was an actor, so I knew all about rejection. I was rejection. So, I've actually been rejected less in this than I was in that. So
Wow. So that gave you some experience.
it did. There was a lot of rejection going on there, but don't let
Mhm.
any of that get to your head, and just follow your own path, follow your own journey. Because remember, everybody's journey is different, and everybody's
Right.
journey is their own. Nobody's journey is
I
the
love that.
same. We all might have the same destination, but our journey is all different. So that's what I would say about that.
So true. I think that, the rejection and comparison, we talked about it. Like I dive into that a lot in my book,
Yep.
really helping artists, really artists of any kind,
Yep.
right? Like dealing with the rejection and, the doubt and comparison. Like those things can be enough to make you quit at times.
Right.
And really learning to manage those early on is really key to be able to keep going and be successful.
No, you're 100%. That's really exactly what it is. And don't give up. That is another one. Don't give up. It's like I told
Mhm.
you before. Once you're out, most of them never come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
It's that
find
keep
another
going.
job. You know what they do? They find another job. They get comfortable. They give up on their dreams and they move on and they get married and have kids. I hate to tell you that, but that's exactly what happens. So all those other things they can all happen, but just don't give up. That's the number one thing. You can get married, you can have kids, and you can have another job. Trust me, you need
Right.
another job in this industry in the beginning. It's very expensive. Marketing is not cheap, but remember, without the marketing, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right.
Marketing is everything. It's everything. It's everything.
Yes. And figuring out the marketing, that's like a whole nother episode for sure. Right.
Yes.
That
Yes,
piece.
absolutely.
But yes, I think what you're saying really is so true. You have to keep going. If this matters to you and you really want to do this, you can do it, but you have to be able to, navigate the rejection, the comparison, and keep figuring it out as you go and
Stay
learning.
on the path. That's what I gotta
Right.
say. Just stay on your path.
Stay on the
Keep up
path.
and keep your head up. That's it.
That's it. Okay. And the final question is $1 million question. No.
All right.
What part of success in the industry did you like? Didn't feel the way that you expected it to? Like, was there a moment that you had that didn't feel the way you expected it would?
I think it's multiple moments really, like hitting milestones like big festivals and radio support and chart positions and all that amazing stuff. It's all
Hmm.
temporary. That's the crazy thing is it's all temporary because you're craving for more
Right.
nonstop. Let me tell you something. You will be craving for more. Like
Craving more highs.
right now, my song's on the billboards and like I'm top 10's nice, but a number one's a different story. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I'm still happy with top 10. I mean, I am, but number one's better. But remember, that's the thing is you're going to crave more. It's like a drug. It's like a drug. It really is. But it's a beautiful drug because you're
Hmm.
creating music, the world's hearing. And, you create the music because you want the world to hear your sound. You want people to discover you. You want that. You want to tell a story. My music tells stories,
Hmm.
and I want everybody to enjoy hearing it as much as I enjoy producing it.
Right, right. So, like, while you're saying on the one hand, like you're saying the success is like a drug, like you want that number one, you want to get higher, right?
Yep.
But that's only like a piece of it. It sounds like the other piece is you are doing something you love. You are telling a story, you're sharing it with the world. You
Yep.
have like a strong, loyal fan base.
Yep.
And that's going to keep you going no matter what number you are in a chart.
At the end of the day, the chart numbers don't really matter. It's about having somebody listen. Charts are a great asset for, using it for DJ gigs and higher rates and things like that. But at the end of the day, if somebody's listening to your music,
Mhm.
you're already blessed. That's
Right. That's the win right
That's,
there.
that's everything. You're already blessed. Remember, and it's hard to get people to listen to your music, especially in the beginning, and never beg.
All right. There's so many great things in all that you've said today. Like, do you have like anything coming up that's exciting that you want to share with us?
I got a bunch of new music coming up. I have another another song with Zico. I'm not sure if you remember my song Body Talks from a few years ago. Actually,
Oh
like
yeah.
must have been 6 years, something like that. But
Hmm. We're going
yeah,
back.
so I have that, and then I dropped No Broke Girls, and that's doing well. But yeah, I have a lot of great things coming out this year. I got so many shows for Miami Music Week. I probably have at
Can't
least
wait.
10. So
Wow. All right. I'm going to be busy.
yeah,
Coming
yeah,
to
you
all your
will. Yeah,
shows.
you will. Yeah, absolutely. You and my dad can hang.
Uh, Absolutely. I will be there. Well, thank you so much for just bringing realness to this conversation, being authentic and sharing your journey with us. I think this is going to help so many artists, really at all levels, just, to keep going, stay on your path, on your journey and continue on. And I really appreciate you being my first guest.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. And I love dance radio, and I love the community, and I love all of you, and I love you especially. Thank you so much for having me.
I love you too. All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.